Greetings, Outriders! Welcome to our Spotlight series, a collection of videos that delve deeper into specific aspects of the game. Today, we're taking a look at our next class. Crank up the heat because it's the Pyromancer.
As Pyromancers, we manipulate explosive volcanic energy and devastating walls of flames.
Who is this class for? Players who like to take on hordes of enemies at once. Also, pyromaniacs. Nah, just kidding. Don't actually set things on fire. Unless you're in the game, then set everything on fire. Pyromancers tend to fight at mid-range. They don't have the movement abilities needed to get in and out of combat quickly, like their Trickster brethren, but many of their abilities are area of effect based, meaning you'll want a decent amount of space to line them up, then light them up. Fundamentals. The Pyromancer has 3 core fundamentals that underlies each of their powers. These are Explosive, Immobilize, and Ignite. The Pyromancer is focused around thermal and fire-based powers and effects, which you can even see in the class's melee attacks. Your standard melee attack will deal fire damage to anyone it hits, while also inflicting extra effects as well. It is so much more than a skill just to use in a raw panic. Healing. Even the best combatants get injured from time to time, so knowing how to utilize your unique Pyromancer skills is essential to surviving. As with all of the classes, there are no quick fixes to retaining health. You need to play aggressively to restore HP. In the Pyromancer's case, they can be healed if an enemy dies while marked by their skills. Any Pyromancer skill that damages an enemy will mark them for a set time. This means that Pyromancers can get maximum healing from affecting the greatest amount of enemies possible, and then also ensuring that those same enemies meet a swift death. Powers. Each class has 8 powers in total, starting with a single power and unlocking more as you level up. Many of the Pyromancer's powers inflict a status effect called Burning. This sets enemies on fire and provides a nice bit of damage over time. However, inflicting Burning also momentarily stuns enemies and can be used as an interrupt. But that's enough general power information. Let's check out 4 of the Pyromancer's abilities now. Power 1. Thermal Bomb. Thermal Bomb will set an enemy ablaze and deal additional damage to them over time. If an enemy dies while under the effects of Thermal Bomb, they'll rise into the air and explode in a gory mess, dealing damage to a large radius. Combine this power with a mob of grouped enemies, and the resulting explosion may well wipe the rest of them out too. You don't have to be the one to land the killing blow either. You can tag an enemy and have a fellow Outrider kill them, which will still trigger the thermal bomb going off. Teamwork. Power 2. Ash Blast. Using this skill will apply the status effect Ash to all enemies in a large radius. Ash prevents affected targets from doing anything at all for a few seconds, immobilizing them in a suffocating cloud of dust. A great crowd control ability, Ash Blast can cause large numbers of enemies to briefly freeze in place. This can be combined really well with other powers to hit a maximum number of enemies. And there are scenarios to use Ash Blast both offensively and defensively. Offensive. Use Ash Blast to prevent enemies from escaping any area of effect abilities you or your teammates might be casting. Alternatively, Ash Blast can help you line enemies up for successful headshots, causing maximum damage. Defensive. Ash Blast can also be used to buy you vital breathing room. Ironic, seeing as your foes will be choking on ash. If you're being overwhelmed, use it to freeze enemies in their tracks and fall back to a more manageable distance. Power 3. Heatwave. This is one of the earliest powers you unlock. As the Pyromancer is a medium-range class, you'll want to maintain a little bit of distance between yourself and enemies, and Heatwave is perfect for this. If enemies, particularly melee attackers, try to rush you, Heatwave will provide you with the space you need to be most effective at scalding them into crispy giblets. Heatwave's secondary effect shouldn't be forgotten either. The burn status effect will deal damage over time to all affected enemies, which may well help give you a nice burst of healing if they feel the burn a little bit too literally. Power 4. Overheat. Overheat may only deal a small amount of damage to enemies within a large radius, but it does deal extra damage to enemies that are currently burning, making it a great follow-up skill. Similarly to Heatwave, Overheat is an excellent way of marking numerous foes and strategically setting yourself up for a big burst of healing. It's one of those skills that just gets on with everyone, you know? It synergizes really well with a number of other powers to double down on damage dealt. The definition of supportive. We all need an Overheat in our life. As we mentioned before, our Pyro Pow will feature a further 4 powers on top of those that we've shown today, but we will talk about these later down the line. Power combos. Using powers by themselves is all well and good, but utilizing them in combinations is where Outriders truly shines. Heatwave's ability to hit several enemies at once with burning means that Overheat can inflict maximum damage. Thermal Bomb, on the other hand, may only inflict burning onto a single enemy at a time, but the status effect still means that Overheat can be triggered to cause extra damage and ensure the Thermal Bomb carrier dies and triggers the explosion. As mentioned, the Pyromancer is ideally a mid-range fighter who likes to keep enemies at arm's length, and this combo will show you how to do just that. While in battle, Heatwave neutralizes enemies that get too close. Following Heatwave up with Ash Blast will ensure that those enemies remain where they are. Then place a Thermal Bomb amongst the mob and focus all fire on that enemy. If you can kill them before the Ash Blast effect wears off, you can wreak havoc with the Thermal Bomb explosion and benefit from a burst of healing at the same time. And bear in mind, these are only simple examples of how powers could be chained. You'll no doubt find your own most effective ways of playing Outriders in your own style. Alter your Pyromancer. Each class has a tree of class point nodes that you can activate to alter the way your build and skills work. Class points are acquired by leveling up. You won't be able to fill out the entire class tree, but you will be able to respec your nodes to change the way you play. The 3 branches for the Pyromancer are Ashbreaker, Firestorm, and Tempest, with each branch providing both major and minor passives that affect your character's type of damage focus and survivability. The Ashbreaker branch will generally provide bonuses when dealing damage against marked enemies, while also providing a boost in anomaly power. The Firestorm branch is a path focused on maximizing the damage output of skills. This path will allow you to increase your anomaly power, your burning damage, and the skill damage you do on marked enemies. The Tempest branch, on the other hand, helps you fill more of a tank role. The path focuses on maximizing your health bonus and reducing the damage you take from certain sources. One of the more unique passive bonuses you can activate on this path is an automatic revival upon death. That's pretty handy. Additionally, the equipment you use may impact the way your skills work. The gear you equip might reduce the cooldown or duration of a skill, or they may alter it on a more fundamental level. But fear not, we will showcase these bad boys in a future video. And with that, the introduction to our Pyromancer is coming to a close. Keep an eye out on our YouTube channel for future gameplay videos and other spotlights coming soon.